I'm sharing what I believe is truly the way to become consistent with content creation, at least for me. Because I don't know about you, but I've worried, what if I start posting and then I don't have anything else to say? What do I even say? How do I come up with the best message, the right message to attract an audience that's interested in what I have to share? Ultimately, it comes down to what I believe consistency really means. What we first have to define is consistency. Let me read it to you. Consistency is the steadfast adherence to the same principles, course, or behavior. The problem is, if you haven't been consistent with content, there is no same principles or same behavior. You are not consistent with the thing that you want to start being consistent with. So how does that make sense? How are you gonna tell me to be consistent with the thing that I haven't been consistent with? And I obviously don't know how to be consistent with the thing you're telling me to be consistent with, because if I was able to be consistent, I'd already be doing it. No? So I feel like I needed to break this down in order for me to understand, how can I actually become consistent? And this is what I thought of. In order to become consistent with my content creation, I have to do two things. And I wrote that down too. I have to become inconsistent with what I've been doing that does not help me reach my goals. And then I have to be consistent with what does help me reach my goals. Let's break that down. I heard this slap in the face quote from $100 million CEO, Layla Hermosi. If you haven't heard of her, look her up. She's a business beast. And she had people, friends, strangers saying, Layla, I don't know how to be consistent. I can't keep up with it. They were trying to lose weight. She lost a lot of weight a long time ago, and she has been able to maintain it off for years. She looks amazing. And she said, well, that's not true. You know how to be consistent. You're just consistent with the wrong things because you know how to consistently overeat. And I was like, dang, Layla, like that? Okay, yes, sure, fine. And have I reduced my snacking some since I heard that? Because I was just like, excuse me, I'm complaining about gaining weight after weaning from breastfeeding. It's not as easy to keep the weight off. I've been consistently snacking, and I need to consistently not snack as much. Yeah, controlling it, and literally in a matter of a couple of weeks, went down a couple of pounds. I was snacking a lot. Okay, but my point is, we have been, I have been, that's for sure, consistent with the wrong things. And so I have to look at the things that I need to take out of my consistent bucket and then start looking at the things that I need to put into my consistent bucket. So some of the things that I have decided to take out of my consistent bucket are things that I find are time wasters when it comes to my goals. Everything has its place, but I don't come home and watch TV every single day. That's not me. There was a time I used to, but I have something that's more important to me than watching TV every day. I also have significantly reduced how much time I spend social media. Yup, I'm looking at you. Because it's so tempting and so fun to just keep on scrolling and scrolling and laughing and scrolling and laughing. It you get those endorphin bursts of just energy and good vibes and feelings because you're looking at the stuff that interests you, and now all of these platforms knows what interests you, so they keep on showing you more of what you like, and you get trapped in this cycle. So when I go on, which is not as much, I go on for a specific thing. I say, I am going to go on Instagram for this amount of time and for this. So sometimes I'm going to go to Instagram to see if I have any replies in my DMs as it pertains to my business, or to reply to comments if I received any. Or I'm going to spend 20 minutes just scrolling because I want to. That's fine too, but essentially I put a limit on it so I don't go over that, and then I can consistently use my time in the way that I truly want to use it. Now, if you truly want to scroll on Instagram for hours, do you, boo? But for me, that's not helping me reach my goals, and it's not something I want to be consistent for. For my phone to tell me some years ago that how many hours I was spending on social media, I was like, dang, Gina, you have given a lot to that platform and you haven't gotten what you really wanted, which is things that you need to do outside of those platforms. So let them be in their place. So now those are a couple things for me that I have reduced my consistency in, right? I've become inconsistent with spending too much time on social media. Now, let's talk about some of the things that I have become more consistent with. I've become more consistent with doing research for my business. And that does not include doom scrolling, looking at other channels or Instagram accounts to see what other people are doing. Because what other people are doing is cool, but it's not necessarily exactly what I want to do. And I have saved probably over 100, I am sure of it. I've saved a lot of posts and put them in a folder called like inspiration posts. I haven't recreated any of it. I haven't used anything from them. I'm inspired and that's great, but I haven't actually used the things that I said I was going to research to get inspiration to create my content. I am creative enough. You are creative enough. So I want to encourage you to not get trapped in the scrolling, the perpetual scrolling to see what everybody else is doing, to see how you measure up, to see if you have a good enough idea. Because honestly, on more occasions than not, I have found that I had what I initially believed was a good idea, and then I started scrolling, and then I all of a sudden didn't feel like it was as good of an idea. That's real. I'm like, oh, I'm so excited. Let me see what everybody else is doing. Maybe I should go back to the drawing board. Maybe I should rethink my strategy. Maybe I should rethink my content. Maybe it's not as good as I thought it was. And it's deflating. It's deflating, it's like demoralizing, it like increases my insecurity, it causes me to judge myself more, to be very harsh and mean to myself when I would never be like that to anybody else. It ain't good. So I have become inconsistent with checking everybody else out, but I have become consistent with researching for myself. How do I research? I use different tools. Sometimes I'll use ChatGPT, but other times I will write down my ideas and then I will go on YouTube to search to see if anybody is creating content on that subject. Not because I'm trying to compare myself to other videos, but I'm just trying to gauge how much interest there is. I may also go to Answer the Pup to type in a question or to type in a keyword to see how many people are talking about this. Are there some keywords that are being kind of neglected from the big gurus that I could be covering to help a smaller audience? Maybe there is a lot of people that are talking about YouTube growth for content creators or influencers, but maybe there's not as many people talking about YouTube growth for small businesses that sell homemade hand soap. And when you get really, really defined and really specific, then you can grow. And that's another topic. But my point is, doing my research is going to help me have better content, and it's going to help me be consistent with content, because I cannot tell you how many times I knew I wanted to record, turned on the camera, and I'm just like, and I restart the same sentence like 15, 20 times, and I barely get through one 8-minute video. It's taken me over an hour because I was not prepared. So if consistency for you means to write out every word and then get an iPad stand like I have and just read the thing, do it. Because whatever is easier for you is what you're going to be able to do consistently. So I research, I prepare. I personally like a scripted intro with outlined bullet points and then a scripted, but when I leave that bad boy for a random, what am I gonna say? It turns out to be a hot mess and a waste of time. And I don't have time for that, because you might get through recording that video, but because it felt so hard, you're likely going to put a lot of time in between doing it the next time, right? Here's another part of consistency: equipment. Because every single time that I set up my equipment, I try to make it easier and easier, because I'm not gonna lie, the last time I recorded content, it felt really hard. I had too much stuff out. I pulled stuff out that I didn't even need. I'm like, because I got some new stuff and I wasn't familiar with the packaging. And I was just like, I kind of don't want to do this. I did it. But it did put some time in between doing it again, because I was like, well, I'm already here, I already put up the stuff, but it was too complicated. So that's another way to become consistent, is to reduce the complication. Don't make it very complicated. Today, full transparency, I was trying to make it too complicated. I was not prepared also. I was not prepared with my equipment, and I made things too complicated when I realized that I wasn't prepared. So I had some things kind of charged, some things like charged enough, but like it don't feel exactly safe. Like when my computer is on like 77%, like that doesn't feel completely safe, right? And I have had my computer die on me in the middle of a podcast. I've had my camera die on me in the middle of recording a video. I wouldn't advise being unprepared. So another part with being consistent is keeping your stuff charged. If you know you have a shoot day, put that stuff on the charger. And if you think you have it fully charged because you fully charged it the last time and you haven't used it since, it all dies just a little bit at a time. So put it back on the charger. I didn't do that last night. I should have. And then the other thing is your processes. So my next tip with becoming consistent is having standard operating procedures, SOPs. What do I need to do before I even set up in order to be ready to record? Every single time that I'm missing something, I add to my SOP. And it doesn't matter how big or small you are for you to have a standard operating procedure, because the more processed, the more systematic you can get, the more consistent you can do it, right? You have driven home probably thousands of times, and you can probably just mindlessly drive home, not really like paying a big amount of attention to the names of the streets. You know it because you've done it so much. That's what these help you to do. Helps you to be able to repeat the process in a way that you can repeat it on a regular basis, on a consistent basis, so that you can ultimately end up doing those things faster. So now I need to add to my SOP that I need to make sure, if I didn't follow my post-production SOP, which is to download everything off of my phone and then delete it, then in my pre-production, then I need to have that in my SOP as a backup. So I'm actually working on these, and I'm going to put it in a nice folder. I'm gonna print them all out. I might even bind it too, so that I can actually turn the page and say, this is what I need to do for my checklist. If you'd be interested in me sharing with you digitally or hard copy, let me know. And maybe I might make that happen, because I have created a lot of them. The more you know what to do next, the easier your content creation can be, and the more consistent you can be. At least that's what I found for myself. And so let's see, let me check my handy dandy, not notebook, but Post-its. All right. So I wrote this, and I just want to read it to you, okay? It says, consistency in your content creation means becoming inconsistent with who you've always been and how you've always been known, and consistently doing different things than what you've always done. That's my goal. That's my goal. Because I didn't touch on this about being inconsistent with what you've always been known for. But when my husband met me, I was not known to him for creating content. In fact, I thought it was silly that he was on Instagram. I said, I don't need it. I'm already on Facebook. So I thank my husband for telling me to start an account on Instagram. But when I decided I wanted to create content, I looked a little different to him. He's like, what are you doing? Playing with your little videos again? What are you know? And then teasing me because I never shared them. I have a lot of content creation practice, even though I haven't shared a lot of it. A lot of it was bad. You don't want to see it. I started becoming inconsistent with what he knew me for. And that can be uncomfortable. But I realized that I needed to do it anyways. Like sometimes I would try to hide it. Like he would be coming, I would try to like put my phone down because I didn't want him to know that I was creating videos, because how weird, right? And I did that a lot. And then over time, I just said, hey, I'm about to record a video. I need you to be quiet. Can you please watch TV in our room, please? Or you watch TV in the living room and I go to our room, or our second room at our old place. Like, I need the quiet, I need the space. I would tell him, hey, you're too loud, I'm recording. Because he'd be laughing, like big belly laugh about something on TV. And I realized, like I'm realizing now, that my bottle is telling me to drink some water. That was needed. I realized that I had to become comfortable with being uncomfortable with the fact that other people's perception of what I normally do was going to now be different if I wanted to become consistent with my content creation. And I think if I would have realized that sooner, I would have gotten comfortable a lot sooner. All right, so let's talk about some like straight up tips to be consistent. Number 1 is do your research. Number 2, prepare, plan, outline. Know what you're going to do. Know what you're going to say. Whether you're going to script it all out and read it. You don't even got to hide it. You don't need a teleprompter. It's fine. We'll listen to you read it because if we like what you are saying, we're going to listen anyways. Number 3, plan out how you're going to set everything up. Where's everything going to go? Where are you going to record? And then number 4 is flexibility. Having some flexibility when things are not working out the way that you want it to work out and you thought you was gonna have 2 camera angles and be all fancy, but you only end up having 1. Big whoop. Like, am I gonna completely destroy my ability to record my content right now because I didn't have it exactly the way that I want it? No, I'm just gonna try to do it better next time. And that's all I can do. I'm gonna try to be more prepared next time. 5 would just be to reiterate, like, examine and analyze what has worked for you and what has not worked for you. If it didn't feel good, if it didn't feel easy, take it out. Maybe you can revisit another time. And then whatever did feel good and did feel easy, keep that in and make sure you write that in the SOP so you remember to do it the next time. I can't tell you how many times that I thought about doing something and then I did it and then I forgot to do it the next time because I did not write it down. Write it down, okay? I want to see you grow just like I want to see myself grow. So be consistent. Hope you learned something. Now go do something with it. And if you want some, let's see, what about to? Ooh, that'd be good. And if part of your struggle with consistency is about not feeling like what you're sharing is good enough or that you're not good enough, I have the exact video that you need to watch next. Because that's exactly what I'm talking about because I'm about to record it right now. So I'm going to be sharing about self-esteem and self-worth and tackling judgment and all of the terrible things we talk about ourselves before we even start doing the thing, and it stops us and holds us back from reaching our goals and progressing. And so if you want my take and insights on those so that you can grow your business, grow your brand, and get out your head, so you can do all the things that you really want to do, then go ahead and watch this video. I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now. How long was this? Let's see what my battery is looking like. Is there some are there, huh, my ear itched. Something's wrong with my stand. Okay, whatever. Ooh, that'd be good. Hi.